is Karen from Liongate Farm, and I'm going to teach you how to make the cutest little bunny in a carrot costume. And we have a kit. So you can buy the kit on the website and make the bunny. This is a little bit harder project. I'm going to warn you, you need to take your time, go slow, get it right. So let's get started. So today we're going to make the cutest carrot bunny. He's a bunny wearing a carrot suit. Is this adorable or what? And he will stand up. My first one would not stand up. I used the wrong wire in his feet, so he's sitting down, but he can sit down too. But I kind of like him standing. Arms move, all the kind of things. And there is a kit for this carrot bunny. So it's a mini little kit. You can get this on the website, liongatefarm.com. And it's $28.50. It will make one carrot bunny. It has everything you need but whiskers. So that is the only thing you need. Well, you'll obviously would need your surface, some needles, a skewer, a little skewer. You're going to need a skewer like this, and some blush. So you don't need too many extras of your own to make him, but just the basics. So in the kit, we have enough core wool to make him. It takes 1.5 ounces approximately. And then the other colors are little. You need a 1/4 ounce of white, a 1/4 ounce of marigold, or the carrot color of your choice. And then some smidges of other colors, like pink for his nose. The rust, this rust color I'm using in the carrot lines. This pink I used on the bottom of his feet. Or I think I used his nose too, I don't know. Peach, I did peach for his teeth so they stood out against the white. And black for details. And then of course, you always need some BFL locks for his tail. These are from Zen, that is her name. For blush, you know I use the pigment, the Pan Pastel Red Permanent Tint, and a little paintbrush. There is a piece of ribbon in the kit to tie around his neck. And then there's 2 pieces of wire. One is 26 inches of long, and then one of the pokey actual pipe cleaners. I like these because the wool really sticks to these rather than just a regular pipe cleaner, but that is all in your kit. So I use 3 different needles for this. I use my 38 star spirals. I do use a 42 for fine details like his teeth, just to get really good details, good poking, good sculpting. 42, 38 star spiral, and then my trusty pen tool. So let's get started, and you're going to get out your wire first. Your wires are going to come first. Okay, so let's start with that 26-inch wire, the 16 gauge wire, and we're going to follow the template, but I first want you to kind of know where center is, kind of know where the center of your wire is up here. You don't have to crimp it. Not quite yet. So look at your template, and it's kind of a funky foot. We're just going to bend this around. And when I did this, I didn't really measure. But what's weird about this is you're going to make a heel, a little heel, and then you're going to come up. Okay? So once you're there, now we're going to go from there. We're going to make a little bend, a little bend, a little bend. Okay, and now you can do a couple twists. Just do a couple twists right here for right now, because see, look, his foot ended up on the other side. That happens. That's okay. As long as we have 2 feet, you come back down here, make a little heel. So the most important thing is to make sure that your feet, your legs, are the same length. Just make another little heel. He has to have a heel or he won't stand up. And see, look, I don't have enough wire left over to go all the way up. But you know what? That's just fine. That's not going to matter in the long run. That is not going to matter as long as you have 2 feet that are similar in size. We have legs that are the right length. And the only reason we have this little bend in here is because we need his feet to stand a little bit far apart. Okay, so now we're going to go back up and twist this. You might want to use pliers. I just use my stinking fingers. So, and right now it looks like a stupid bird with 2 weird feet. It could be a bird. Excuse me. I have been working outside, and it's so pretty outside, you guys. So pretty. Now you're gonna take this pipe cleaner. Hold on, I gotta take a drink. Cannon can edit that out if he needs to. Unless you guys want to hear me cough my brains out. Okay, so find center on your pipe cleaner. Just so you know where it is. Just so you know where it is. And right here, where this wire comes together, we're gonna wrap it under and under. And let's go over. These are pokey, so it takes a minute. And lay it on your page. Okay, it's still too long. Let's knock my bunny over. Wrap it around once. Wrap it around once. We're going to use up the extra by wrapping it. And then you have a little hook on the end of his arm. I like to make sure the arms are the same length. And now that's his arms. Is this the funniest looking armature you ever saw? It's like dinosaur land. Okay, and if you're going, oh, well, your bunny's taller. Well, that's because I extend the top past. Okay, now comes wrapping, everybody's favorite. We're going to do a little fancy wrapping first. So first we're going to get some core. You know, and I don't know if you need the whole 1.5 ounces, but I'd rather you have too much than too little. Way too much. So, how I start is right here. Boy, you guys, it is so nice outside. Okay, I have to preface this in saying, you know, up until last Friday, it's been foggy. Cannon, was it foggy at your house this morning?
I don't know. I woke up at 1 p.m.
Oh my God.
It's pretty nice when I woke up.
Okay, so for those of us that have farms, it's been foggy. It's been really foggy. And I want you to see I'm wrapping in and out gently. See, if I pull too tight, I'm going to lose the distance between his legs. So let's just keep like that. And then let's go around. Just gentle, gentle, gentle. We want those legs sticking right out of the middle. I've done this a couple. I think I'm going to go back. Okay, so see, I squished them together right there. I don't want to do that. So let's wrap this leg. I'm going to wrap one leg, then the other, because that will keep them apart. So now let's just go in here and wrap a little bit on this leg. If that made sense, it's almost like I'm making pants. I'm making a couple pants. Now his legs will stay apart, mostly. Anyways, what I started to say is up until last 30, it's been horribly foggy. Horribly foggy and really cold outside. I mean, I was lucky if I was getting up. I know, and those of you who live in really cold areas, you're going, oh, that's not cold. Anyways, we were lucky if it would get to 40. But we start out here at 20. I don't know what it is. Cannon would never know because he's asleep. But it was 20 this morning. That's pretty chilly. That is pretty darn chilly out there. So poke in the bottom of your carrot, because we need him to not go down the legs. You know, you probably could, see, he already is starting to look like something. You probably could do the feet first, but that's not the way I've been doing it. So I'm going to show you the way I've been doing it, and it works pretty well. I just like to get the main carrot on first. Anyways, it was so nice out this morning that I cleaned my first garden out of the year. Yahoo! And it was one that's been needing really cleaned out since we moved in here. I dug out 1 million irises, and they all got thrown away. They were in a really bad spot. And I don't have anywhere else to put them. And I have a whole bunch of beautiful irises I could plant, but not there. It's just not a good spot for irises. It's shady. I'm going to put some hydrangeas there, I think. Not quite sure. I do have 17 more sheep I need to shear, which I was planning on doing today, but the garden called my name. And I knew Canada would want me clean to film a video. So right now it looks like Big Bird. Doesn't this look like Big Bird? Hey, how many people guessed how tall you were?
One person.
One?
Shout out to Stephanie Laseco.
Oh, Stephanie, she got it.
She got it right.
Only
6'6".
We need to. What was everybody else guessing?
Nobody guessed but her.
What?
Yeah, but a lot of people. Some people had recommendations. For
Okay,
stuff.
like what?
Let's see here. A moon gazing hare is one of them.
Okay.
Let's see.
So when you say a moon gazing hare, we're gonna ask you for more information. Who asked that question?
It was Stephanie Laseco.
Oh, Stephanie. Stephanie, when you ask for a moon gazing hare, do you want a hanging one sitting in a hoop? Oh, I bet we can make the Santa moon into a rabbit. I bet I could.
Paula Gilbert said
Yes?
she'd like to see nests. We kind of did a nest video before. It's kind of a random, whimsical nest, though.
Yeah, with the locks.
Yeah.
Did I do it on the spring? Or did I just do a nest?
I think you did it on the spring.
Well, I have some on the spring, but I don't know if I did it.
And then,
So you guys, I'm just felting the carrot. This, normally I go really fast because I have some ready, but I don't have any ready because I've been busy.
Wink Piedmont said, I can't visualize Cannon getting in and out of his vet.
Me either. Me either. I couldn't even get in and out of that. No, he folds himself up. Trust me. He can get in and out. No problem.
There's no seats in the back, so there's a lot of leg room.
Yes.
She also said spring flowers to felt, like tulips, daffodils,
Mm-hmm.
violets.
Okay.
Crocus, something like that.
Crocus. My tulips are already coming up. So are the daffodils. That was one reason I needed to clean that garden out, because it has tulips and daffodils and all kinds of stuff coming up already. Okay, I'm going to keep going around here because I know how fat my guy needs to be by comparing it to the template. And I always say wrap tight. Well, you want to wrap tight with a little bit of trepidation here because you don't want to collapse the inside.
Rich Baisley said you could have some fun with dinos and dragons with your imagination and talent.
Dinos. We could do dinos.
And then Linda.
Ha! Wait, speaking of dinosaurs, wait a second. I saw the funniest video today. They knitted little dinosaur tubes with little spikes and stuff on them, and they put them on these elephant trunks. So that it was really funny.
Oh, like a real elephant?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So the elephant trunk is moving along, and he looks like a dinosaur. Anyways, sorry, I digress. It was pretty funny. It was funny. Once in a while, I will find myself sucked into videos that mean nothing.
And Linda Sinish said,
Yes?
I would like to see you make an alpaca, big fluffy head, short nose, long neck.
We did an alpaca.
I think we did.
We did. He might not have been as well, he was fluffy because I did him with locks. We have an alpaca video out there. Boy, we must have so many videos now that people can't find them all.
True. think that we're over 100 for sure.
Well, my template book is pretty fat. And, you know, I know that you guys really want me to get all the templates on my website so you can go and buy them. But I'm getting there, I promise. When you call and I answer the phone because I'm a one-woman show. Cannon can attest to that. I am me. I am the product picker. I am the product maker. I am the product packer. I do it all. There's only me, unless I can coerce my husband into helping me. And he does. He helps me do a lot, actually. But he does not felt. He also does not clean fleeces. He says, no, I am not touching that. Okay, so do you see what has happened here? You see how our carrot has slipped down the legs. So we want to felt up some more. We want him to have enough legs sticking out so that he can sit down or stand up. So just about an inch, inch and a half sticking out. And see, now his legs are nice and far apart. And, you know, you can test him. I'm going to test him on my pad, but that doesn't always mean anything. And he'll stand up just fine. My big orange cat named Ping. It was so cold outside, he wanted in the house. He never wants in the house. And he actually asked to come in this morning. So I let him in. He warmed up for about a half an hour. And then he's like, I'm out of here. And Rip just thought that was the most fantastic thing ever. That Ping came in the house. I am getting some lamb bellies out there. The girls that already got sheared are all expecting. I don't know if they all are yet, but we're starting to get udder development, and we got some pretty big bellies going on. I told Zila she has to make 2 this year, not 1 like she did last year. So best, funniest thing that happened yesterday, Cannon, is, you know, I always get yelled at, like, oh, you left the gate open. If the sheep get out, that's John's first sentence, right? You left the gate open.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the last time they got out, he left the gate open. And now we were cleaning the barn yesterday. The barn got all clean and everything. We had both pieces of equipment down in the pasture, and John took them out. I went down to feed, and the gate was wide open. He left the gate open.
Yeah.
And we're so lucky that all the sheep were not out in the road.
Oh, wow.
And when I say open, I mean wide open, all 16 feet wide open. I'm like, oh my gosh, the dogs were still in, the sheep were still in. We're so lucky. So lucky. All right, so there's the bottom of our carrot. So we're going to go ahead and do our feet. I usually do them last. Let's do the feet next. Okay, so you're going to need white for the feet. No core wool on the feet because you want your legs kind of skinny. So take a little piece, about 6 inches, and we're going to secure it to the carrot. And then we're going to come around. Now I want you to draft it out a little. Remember, drafting means to pull your wool. You don't want it to come off. And now remember, this is the foot. This is a good one. This is the foot that I didn't have wire all the way to the back. So I'll just be wrapping more there. And I'm just wrapping it flat around this wire. I let it go past the end. And I'm going to go till I have not anymore. I am using, this is Snow. This is the Snow White, I believe. Based on how it feels. There's a couple just different white choices you can get in my shop now. I have snow. I have chalk. Chalk's really nice. I have the white Perendale bats. Those are pretty luscious, but they're not super great for wrapping. But they're a beautiful white. Beautiful white. And see, I like his foot to be thinner in the back. Big old hair feet. Let's finish this one off because it has that lack of wire. So now I'm going to work from the bottom. And basically, I'm just going to make this all turn into one piece. I'm stabbing pretty shallowly using the 38 star spiral because I don't want to hit the wire. So for those of you watching, I did restock all my needles last weekend. It was very crazy. John and I restocked over 7,000 needles. Well, yeah, it was crazy. But I figured it's better to get ahead of the game, right? But we did so many, my finger, I think I bruised my finger. I was like, oh my gosh, what have I done to my poor fingertip? I actually had to get out a finger protector and use it because my finger was hurting that bad. I didn't see you last weekend, did I?
No.
That's probably why I was able to get so much needles done. Got needles done. I got locks washed. Oh my gosh, I've been washing fleeces like mad. So there's new white locks in the shop, a couple different kinds. And I put some more violet locks in the shop. That's the silver and gray ones. Okay, so we have one leg. Now this looks nasty, so let's just touch this up a little bit. We need this to be smooth. You guys can't see what I'm doing when I work like that. When I'm working on a foot, I like to stand it on the pad so that I'm working into the pad. And the foot is coming out flat, so I'm stabbing this way. That was a piece of plant material probably coming out of my hair. Okay, so let's get this nice and flat. Yeah, there's one big thing that can make a sheep farmer happy in the winter, and that is having a clean barn for your sheep. That was the first time we've had to clean it this winter. That's how mild our winter has been. And I'm using a different kind of straw. And I really like this straw. I'm using barley straw, and it's holding up really well. It's holding up super well. There's our foot. Now, let's pull this out, make sure we got it all nice and straight. All right, you need to go over there. I have an appointment coming up at the neurosurgeon. I think I'm going to get in trouble, but we're going to pray that I don't. Right?
Of course. Why are you going to get in trouble? For all the work you've been doing?
Yeah, I've been doing too much. My neck's been giving me some issues. You know, I've had to put my collar on a couple times. just to relieve some pressure. And it works every time. Oh, as long as it doesn't mean I need any more surgery, because I am just not up for that. Especially if it involves wearing any kind of halo. So these, you can see these feet take a little bit of time, and you're just gonna have to sit and work with them until you get this cute shape of a foot. And you gotta have that heel, or your bunny is not gonna stand up. So make sure he still stands up. Obviously, he's not gonna stand up right now because this foot is not covered, but just keep testing as you're going along to make sure that your bunny is standing up. And if it looks like, see, I'm looking at this, if it looks like it'll be more centered, if you turn it around, go ahead and turn it around. You want it centered in that carrot. So I'm going to go ahead and do the second foot. You guys do not need to watch me do the second foot. And I'll be back in a minute because you've watched me do this first foot in detail. Okay, so now you should have your feet on and he should stand up. And I am going to make the bottom half of this carrot. When I look at my template, I'm like, well, he's a pretty skinny carrot, so he needs to be a little bit fatter. So we're just going to wrap some more. Now that we have the feet on, I feel more comfortable doing that. I get so excited when it's warm out and like this in January, and then you know it's going to get crummy again. You just know it. So remember, we're making a cone, and you need, while you're wrapping, you need to visualize it's going to go all the way up and get skinny. Cannon, could you let Rip outside?
Yes.
He obviously just ate his dinner.
Come on, Rip.
Oh, no, you don't need to stay there. He'll come back in. Just...
Let me get some fresh air out here.
Okay, fine, fine. So now my carrot is getting... You want to make it just, this corbel just a hair smaller than the template because we're going to add another color. And that will make it bigger. Right now, it looks like a dress. It kind of is. It's a carrot dress. Okay, so let's do his arms, actually. Let's wait. We're gonna do the arms next. You'd think I have this all planned out, but well, that was quick.
He did his business.
Yep. So we just tack it. He's pretty efficient.
Yes.
Well, you just tell him what you need him to do and he'll do it. So now we left this little hook out here. So we're going to... Oh, I have a bag of fiber on the ground? Yeah. It fell out of my basket. So I'm wrapping, and I love these pipe cleaners because they hold that fiber like no tomorrow. The reason we left a little hook for his hand, we're going to wrap all the way around. Now, when you get to there, I want you to bend it back. And see, this is going to form, I drafted that out a little bit, his hand. We're going to come back. And if you want him to have thin arms, you can just stop here. If you want him to have thicker arms. It's so unwieldy, these little wires. Okay, hold on. That's too fat. That's too thick. So I am going to do the little trick. I don't like this here. Drafting it out. It was too thick for me. So what I'm going to do is tack this. I was telling Cannon that if you watch Netflix and you need something to binge, you should binge, and you like murder mysteries. Whoops. Well, that's okay. There is the new show called His and Hers. I have to tell you, I've never been more surprised in my entire life at an ending. So I kind of recommend it. And if you figure it out before the end, I don't believe you. Because I'm really good at figuring these things out. And I have never been more surprised in my entire life. And neither has my husband. And we're pretty good at figuring stuff out. It's jaw-dropping. It's like, what? Oh my goodness. So I highly recommend you watch it if you need something to binge watch. Cannon doesn't watch that kind of TV. He's different than us.
I watch a lot of YouTube and sports and streamers, which are basically like just people that go live on the stream, you know?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
About what? Just anything?
Yeah, there's a lot of, it's called IRL streaming. So in real life, they just like go around town to different spots and it's all just live.
Okay.
And they're like celebrities at this point. They're like the new age celebrities.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What do they talk about?
They just kind of go and do like experiences and stuff like that. They just go out to restaurants or they go to like different attractions.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. I watched this one guy's name's iShowSpeed. He's got like 50 million subscribers and he's like 28 years old.
Oh no.
Yeah, so he's big time, and he did America. He did like every state in America in 31 days. He had like two tour buses, and he was live the whole time, even when he slept. He had his cameras going live.
What?
He had a whole production team of like 20 people, and it was crazy.
I would not want people seeing that much of my life.
That's what he does, yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, there's like things I always would not want people to see.
Obviously, he's not showering and stuff on stream. But...
Well, still, I wouldn't want people watching me when I sleep. Oh my gosh, that would be terrible.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. And when he slept, he would turn on, it's called Talk to Speak, and like when people can donate money to say something on the stream.
Uh-huh.
So it's just nonstop donations coming in and just these funny comments coming up.
About him sleeping?
Just about anything, yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. No, I still just would not want people watching me while I sleep because I just never am comfortable while I sleep.
Yeah.
And I have bad dreams, believe it or not. I have the weirdest dreams.
I had a weird dream last night. It was about someone like messed with my TV setup. And, like, they unplugged it. And, like,
okay, that's not a bad dream.
No, it was just a weird dream. And I was like fiddling with it and trying to get it fixed, and it wasn't working. They messed up the wires.
When did you wake up?
And then I woke up at 1 p.m. and everything was fine.
Okay, that's hilarious. So did you actually go check?
I mean, I got up and turned on some sports and everything was fine.
Okay.
But no, it was just a weird...
That is funny.
Strange dream.
It is.
No one's ever messed with my TV setup.
You know, I don't even operate the remote in the living room because that's John's land. That is John's land. In fact, I don't even know if I could get to half of the things. Now, Netflix, I'm a pro. But that's because of I wasn't before my Halo. But I am because of the Halo. Well, wearing that Halo. All I did was, you know how Netflix, I don't know if you know this, you finish something and they give you a suggestion, right? On what you should watch next.
Yeah.
So I would just push play. I watched some of the weirdest stuff. And then I got into, there's our little hands. I got into, it sent me into European stuff somehow. So let's hook this onto his neck. His head's going to go right here. Those arms will disappear a little bit. So we're just going to wrap all the way up. Remember, when you're wrapping, don't wrap and twist. You want to wrap flat. And I look like I'm really fast at it because I've been doing it for a really long time. I think we figured it out. It's like 28 years that I've been felting. Something like that. A really long time. You think I'd be better than I am. Right? Well, it is what it is.
I mean,
But
the stuff that you regularly do, you're really good at, like the lambs and sheep
right.
and stuff.
Well, but remember, for the first how many years of that, I worked too.
Yeah.
I didn't start doing this full time until 2021.
A lot of the videos that we do, it's like your literal first time making the thing.
Yeah.
First or second, so.
It is, because we're coming up with new stuff. Okay, right now this is a very small-headed carrot rabbit. All right, we're gonna go up. Basically, we're just building this up into the carrot top. Now you can make his head as tall as you want or as small as you want, but the first inch or so, we need that to be somewhat round. So we're going to, because his face has to stick out of the carrot costume. So remember, this year the garden rule is no new gardens. I'm going to tell you. One of our favorite dahlia places, my friend and I have this favorite dahlia place, had their first sale last week. Remember my rule, no new gardens. Man, 13 new dahlias just jumped into my cart.
Wow.
I have room for them without making a new garden, but I'm just, you guys gotta help me here. It's an addiction. I have a dahlia addiction, but they're pretty awesome. They're pretty awesome. So we're just gonna cover this little round part with the white. So right now we're gonna make his little face. You don't need a lot of white. In fact, you don't even need to do the back of his head. So now it looks like a weird guy wearing a dress. Okay. You have a skewer. And we have a piece of roving. And you're going to make two little pillows. One. Two little pillows. Oops. Get back up there. So we have two little pillows. Just set them right here. And then we need a tiny little cone. There's a tiny little cone. Look at, that's going to be his nose. And then you're going to need so you guys, this is a little bit more complex than we normally do. So I want you to take your time. Okay, then you have a little tube. So that's going to be his chin. So you're going to look at this guy right here, and we're going to go, okay. The first cheek is going to go right here in the middle. So your halfway mark on the head is about halfway down. And I may have made his head a little too big, but that's okay. And your second pillow, I know I'm not felting them in very hard. You know how I am. I just like to get everything placed and then work it. This is the second cheek. And then his little nose goes right there. right between the two cheeks. And we're just going to tack it on. This comes together pretty well. And then his chin is going to tuck in right down here. See, I have a little bit too much, so I'm going to tuck it in there. Now you don't want any space between his cheeks below his nose. So his teeth are going to end up right there. This is his chin. So now you're thinking, oh, but this is so undone. Remember what we're going to do next. Boy, this guy's rough. I want you guys to take more time than I have. So now I have this little, just this little piece of pretty sheer white, and I'm going to just place it over the whole face. Over his whole face. And now I'm going to find where the nose is. That just glues everything on and makes it all smooth. It's pretty amazing what you can do with wool. Notice I'm tucking. So find the pink. I'm going to use this light pink. And you need just a smidge. Find the pink you want to use for his nose. And it's going to tuck in right here. In this triangular area. Don't make his nose too big. Notice I keep working the cheeks toward each other. You don't want any space right there. Now, where's the peach color? Here it is. So kind of judge how big of teeth you want. And here I'm going to do my thing again, where I don't build them first. I'm following where his mouth goes, and I'm going to fold them in. I may have to add some more. Wait a minute, I have a black fiber. That will make me crazy. So now I'm building up his teeth. Remember I said we're going to use a 42 needle mostly on the teeth. Push these cheeks towards the bottom of the nose. Hope my head's not in the way. I know he doesn't look like much yet. Okay, let's tuck this chin up. Now that we have his teeth on. So here's where you can switch to a 42 just for a minute. Start getting that line in the middle of the teeth. You want his teeth to kind of stick out a little bit. And then if you notice, my guys are always smiling, so you know I'm going to make that smile go up into the cheeks. So as we felt along, this is starting to get firmer and firmer. And I'm still working those cheeks to a point below the nose. So basically it's like two little triangles. A triangle for the teeth, a triangle. Felting is all about learning how to push the wool into the shape that you want it. The first one I did, his face was super flat, and I was like, it's okay, but I didn't like it. So I've been working on. So watch what happens now. We're going to just take a little bit of black. And don't get too big. The little eye goes right in here, the side of the nose. It's kind of a teardrop shape. The point of the teardrop being towards the nose. Let's get this one. That's way too much. Get back over there. Right now, he looks pretty stupid. I mean, really stupid. Okay. Do as I say, not as I do. Let's get this. All right, buddy, you look dumb. You look like a 2-year-old, did you? And that's because his teeth aren't finished. Really stab these in. You know, they always look silly before they're done. Oh my goodness, he looks really stupid. All right, let's do some sculpting. Okay, I don't like the way this is coming out for me, so I am going to add some more cheeks. Much better. Do not be afraid. A little bit more white. Let's add on this side. So what I'm going to do to add is I'm going to bring this piece across, and I'm going to stab a little line, and I'm going to fold it back, and that will give us more cheeks. So he doesn't have to go to the orthodontist. Much better, less teeth, much less teeth. Let's poke his nose down in. Isn't it amazing what just a tiny bit of wool can do to change the shape of a whole thing? I seriously work on the teeth for a long time. It's a dumb thing, but to me, it's what makes him. It's his little teeth sticking out. Tuck his nose down in some more. We have all the basic pieces here. Isn't it amazing how this is coming together? Okay, if you don't work on this part right here, he'll look dumb. So let's push his chin up. So this is technically not my design, you guys. I saw this guy on Pinterest, And I can't find the original felter to give the credit to, but my friend Sandy made one, except hers was different. She made hers wearing slippers. It was so cute, like little house slippers. So let's give him a smile. And see, he's going to start making sense here. So if you take a tiny bit of black, very little, very, 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 very little. I'm going to split them. We're going to go this way. Easter is a long way away. Spring is a long way away. So you got time to perfect this. Oh, you know how I hate when the black fibers get into the white fibers. Almost as much as Cannon hates fuzzies. He hates fuzzies. I hate when I have contamination of white. Okay, so you still can't see those teeth, right? Take a tiny, there's that rust color in there I have for the carrot. Just take a little tiny bit, and because the teeth are peach, just like 2 fibers. Go down the middle of them, along the bottom of them. This eye is not the same size as that eye. Make your eyes the same size. You should start looking like a rabbit here. Where's our 42? So this 42 needle is going to take all these tiny fibers and tuck them in. You're able to grab on to the fiber. I still want this down lower. He's pretty cute though. This is the hardest part, you guys. This face is the hardest part. Rabbit, people, faces are hard. Doesn't matter. I wish I could say alakazam, magic, and make it just appear. But see, and see how this is sticking out? So watch what happens now. Okay, so now we're going to finish. Get some more coral, and we're going to wrap his carrot head. And this will make way more sense. So remember, you want a smooth cone up to the top. So we have to keep our mindful of how wide we are at the bottom and how wide his head is. And we want this cone to smoothly progress up around his head. But it can poke out a little bit around the round part because that's his head and it's a costume. So here's where you decide how tall you want your carrot to be. I'm going to go a little bit past the end. Come on. compare it to my chart, and I am about right. Not worried about whatever that is in my core wool. Well, let's take it out of there. A little bit of dirt, somebody's farm. The truth is, sheep live outside, and we do our best to process all the dirt out of them. But it doesn't always happen. I'm not too worried about the cheeks over here on the side because that's going to be orange. So we have a pretty good carrot shape going, so let's cover him in marigold. This is more than enough marigold to cover your carrot. Just remember, your goal is not to like glop it on. You just don't want to see the core wool. And I'm going to let a little bit come to the top. Let's So if you have a multi-needle tool here, you can use that to put your marigold on, or you can just do what I do and stab away. I think the process of stabbing is addictive, and it's why I stab with a 2-needle rather than the multi-tool a lot. Of course, your core wool is going to be compacting more as you do this. You can hear me hitting the wires. But you're letting the needle do the work. Don't be jamming it in there. Just gently poke, poke, poke. Now, let's go around his head. So we want this to look like a costume. So let's take a little piece and we're going to go like this, and we're going to go above his eyes. Folded it. We're going to fold it back up so that we have this little ridge here. And work this up into the top. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And then we're going to go around his face. Follow that same curve. We're putting on his carrot onesie. That's what we're doing. We'll go on this other side, following the same curve. Pulling this out. And this will all have to be felted in. Try not to collapse this right here too much. You can always add more. Then we want to get the back of him. Now, notice that when I put this on, I am going side to side instead of this way, because your fibers naturally line up that way. Carrots naturally have lines around them, and the lines in the wool will help simulate the look of the carrot. So I have a little bare spot up here, and I'm just tacking right now. I'm actually just tacking, covering. You know how I do this. I'm just going to tack and cover the whole rest of him. and get it all felted in. And then we'll come back and put on some ears. So we need a piece right here. Now, I don't make sleeves on my guy. His carrot costume is sleeveless. So we want to go around those arms. See how I told you his bunny face would just work its way out? And it certainly did. He's going to look pretty silly till he's all felted in. So when you get down past the arms, you can actually wrap around. Isn't it funny how much of a mess you make while you're felting? Like how much table space it actually takes. We talk about that. Meetup Mondays, you cannot see this table at all in my shop. We all spread out all over the place. It's pretty crazy. I mean, if you wanted to leave him loose like this, you probably could, but I like him felted a little bit more. I like his chin to stick out. So I'm not going to make you watch me felt this all the way around because you can see all I'm doing. I'm going to cover him and then I'm going to felt it in. And it's probably going to take me a good 20 minutes. So you guys come back and I'm sitting here working on his teeth again. So I got him all covered in marigold. So he's all covered. I covered the bottom. And it did. It took me about 20 minutes. I make sure he could stand up. Not on my pad because my pad's not level. Make sure he can stand up. So now, next we're going to do some ears. So you need a little bit of white. You should have just a little bit of, enough for ears left here. Again, these are subjective. You can make them as big as you want with however much white you have left. I'm going to make 2 stacks. And I know you guys know what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw an ear. And then I'm going to fold it in. Tuck it all in here. Before I flip it, I'm going to draw the second ear and do the same thing so that they're similar in size. And then we're going to felt the heck out of it. Oh, it's funny. Before we started, Cannon said, I'm going to hand you some scissors because I know you're going to need some scissors. You always ask me to hand you scissors, and he did, but I really want the silver ones that are over there.
Okay. They look sharp.
Yes. So, yes, I want those so I can show them what we're going to do next. Yes. So I have this sharp, super sharp pair of little scissors. I'm going to show you a really cool way to put on an ear because I know you were thinking, oh, how is she going to get that ear on without any white showing? So this is a little cool trick I do. Sometimes it's an ear trick. And you can do it with other parts, but it works really good with ears, especially when you have 2 tones. What are you looking for? Different candy?
I'm just looking out at the sunshine.
I know, it's so pretty.
Very rare right now.
But we haven't had a lot of rain like we normally do. All right, so we have this ear done, and I'm just going to show you. So first, to make my friend Cannon here happy. I'm going to cut off all these little fuzzies. He hates the fuzzies. Don't cut too deep. If you're doing this, don't cut too deep, because what'll happen is then you'll have to refelt it. So we're going to come up here and go, okay, his ears go about right there. And I am going to cut a hole. I'm down in there. And I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to poke this down in that hole. So I cut a little slit and now I'm sticking them in here. And you can even form them into the more of an ear shape. Take your needle and we're tucking it in. See, now we have his one little ear put on. Make sure you go in the back and attach it, but see how clean that is, and no white in messing up your marigold. And then I like them to stand up, so I'm going to attach it to the top of the carrot. So let's do the second one. Just keep flipping them until they get nice and smooth. Again, you can use your multi-tool. If you have extra fluffies, tuck them in. Okay, let's trim that. See all these fuzzies? Let's trim these all off. You can shape the top of your ear with your scissors. And again, we're going to cut another hole, just about right there. Decide where your ear goes, and then cut in. Be careful you're not running into your wires that are in there. And then I tuck it in with my scissors. Find your slit. Get it down in there. Just tuck all that extra in. And again, you can form it with the slit into that ear shape that you want. Isn't that the cutest? He's so cute. Okay, now let's give him some personality. We're going to give him his face some personality. So I love this red pigment stuff. It's permanent. It's not like blush. It doesn't come off. So once you put it, be sparing with it until you decide how much you really need. My favorite way to put it on is with the paintbrush, not with the pieces that come with it. You see, and I'll even add a little bit to the top of his nose there. And we'll put some in his ears. So if you're going to put whiskers on him, I'm going to talk about it. If you're going to put whiskers on him, you can use a paintbrush in the paint bristles. I would stab a hole, you know, like if you're going to give him freckles, I would just use a little Sharpie or an alcohol marker. Give him, but if you're going to put the whiskers on, stab a hole, squirt some super glue onto a paper, dip the edge of your horsehair or your thread. If you're using thread, you'll sew it in. But if you're going to use horsehair or the paintbrush, dip it in the glue, stick it in the hole. Stick it, you know, then you trim it after you get them in. And that will give you some really cute whiskers, because he definitely needs whiskers. And then we have a ribbon here. Just tie this little ribbon around his neck. Now, I know somewhere I have some cute, tiny little baskets, and I was going to give my guy a basket. There's one more thing we have to do. Well, actually two. All right, so now he doesn't look like a carrot yet. So let's make him look like a carrot. If you've felted this enough, you're going to be able to put in your carrot lines. So you might need to look at a real carrot, but I doubt it. Everybody knows what carrot lines are. Put your carrot lines in, just vary them around. Now you're stabbing very deeply to get these lines in. And we're going to come back here. We're going to do it back here. You get the idea. But be random and just stab some carrot lines in. I don't really put them on his head, but I do go up above. And you know, they get more. You get more of them as you get up towards the top and kind of curve them up. I don't know if any of you have ever grown carrots, but they never come out looking like the kind in the store. At least mine didn't. My dad is the supreme carrot grower. Carrots and onions. He grows the best carrots and onions. All right, so we have that. And then you can take that little bit of rust that I put in there in the kit, or if you have rust, and just put it in the lines. And you're going to just stab a little bit in. And that will just accentuate your little carrot lines and make him super cute. Details. Devil's in the details. Now that was a little bit too much. Let's just stab it all in. So you get it all, you'll get all those stabbed in. Now the last, you can put pink on the bottom of his feet if you want, like I did here. If you want, not necessary, especially if he's going to stand up. Gotta make sure he's still standing. Stand up. You're going to have to adjust his feet to get him to stand. One last thing we need. We have locks, and we are going to give him a tail. I was talking to someone who watches our channel. She came into the shop on Friday, and she was telling me how she has trouble attaching the locks. So let's talk about that for a minute. So on the anatomy of a lock, this is a good one. So if you look at this, it's a little fuzzy, and there's little fuzzies on the side. So I was showing her, if you grab those fuzzies, push your lock up and in, kind of grab those fuzzies. You don't want to over felt it, because we were talking about doing dogs. But if you over felt it, you're going to lose the look of the lock. So just kind of find the fuzzies on the edges of the lock. And that's the wrong needle. I'm like, why is that not attaching? Find the fuzzies. And it's not instantaneous. You've got to work them in. So I'm working this into a ball by grabbing the fuzzies on the locks. But you can see, you can still see the locks. Grab the lock, push it towards the center. Work the base. That way he's going to have a nice floofy tail. And there you have it. 1 carrot costume for a rabbit. It's super cute. I bet you guys could do other animals, but this is the bunny. I thought it was pretty cute. Stand up, buddy. I got to adjust my feet. Or you can sit him down. You can make him all sit down. You can make his arms do whatever you want. I thought he'd be really cute holding like a basket of carrots, but I didn't get that far. So if you need supplies or you need a kit, head over to liongatefarm.com And shop the farm store. There are kits, and there's also these colors just all by themselves. You can just buy that. And what else, Cannon? Follow us.
Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Leave comments.
Leave comments. Yes. Tell us what's going on with you. We love to hear. And have a great day.